Good morning, everyone. This is Andrea Zenz from Standard Imaging. Not the voice I know you were expecting to hear today, but my colleague Hugh had an unexpected emergency to attend to, so I'm helping him out today by doing our PIPSpro TG142 Made Easy presentation for you today. So I will start with, yes, I will, just a moment. You're going to have to bear with me a little bit. It's been a while since I've done this one. But I'm happy, like I said, to present on behalf of Hugh about PIPSpro TG142. While we get started here, I know there's always stragglers coming on, so let's do a little bit of the house cleaning. Those of you who listened to me last week have heard this before, but say it again. These are some of my colleagues. By the way, this is me up here with the bluish green background. And you know, one of the important things that keeps us motivated doing our job, especially during these very strange times we're living in, is, you know, understanding why we do what we do. And it really is because if one of our colleagues, family members, friends got cancer, we would want to know that they're getting the best treatment possible. And we want to be your partners in making sure that you have the precision quality solutions in order to help those cancer patients and hopefully bring better outcomes to your cancer patients. So again, a little bit of housekeeping. As you well know, this will be recorded, posted on our website and sent to those of you who have registered. If you have any questions, do enter them in the dialog box and I will address them at the end. A little bit about Standard Imaging in case this is your first webinar with us. We're based in Middleton, Wisconsin, which is a suburb of Madison. We were founded just over 30 years ago. And from humble beginnings of our weld chamber and electrometer, we have certainly expanded to be an important and excellent design and manufacture facility company with a full suite of QA solutions for your radiation therapy needs. And a little bit about myself, I've been with Standard Imaging just shy of 15 years. Most of that was in our sales department. I am now in our product management team, and therefore very happy to be helping you on a more technical side going forward. So we're going to talk about TG142. Imager Machine QA is what PIPSpro and the Phantoms are all about. Of course, we're talking about MVKV imagers, your cone beam CT, MLC tests, both image-based and log file-based. Automating your Winston-Lutz test, whether that be with cones or MLC-defined fields. Radiation light field, starshot analysis, and IGRT, which is a recording of your daily offset so that you can trend that information within PIPSpro as well. And you know, in the case of something going wrong, you can anticipate needing service and call that in on your time instead of not being able to treat patients on a specific day. Alrighty then. So the database management, it can be centralized or localized. What does that really mean for you? It's scalable for, you know, from a single facility to an enterprise solution. It's easy department and user setup. We support Citrix, the use of Citrix server installations. We have a centralized database, which is of course accessible enterprise-wide, and baselines with built-in quick selects help you very quickly, lead you very quickly to specific tests, and we'll show that in the software. Okay, come on to the next one. So the next in thresholds, just going through these, I'm going to go through these slides pretty quickly because you want to spend some time in the software for sure. So we have a system manager. You see divisions, departments, users, Linux. You're setting up, and each one of these is a very simple screen. We're not asking for a ton of details, but enough to get going, specifying your couch, specifying your imagers. And then you also have in here where you're setting up your thresholds. The defaults are to the tolerances in TG 142, but of course they are editable by a user. You get a quick overview of your last results in a dashboard view. We automatically calculate results for spatial resolution, uniformity, contrast, and noise to contrast for the MVKV. And as you notice here, we use an open field image. We're not just looking for the darkest and lightest points, but various points throughout the image in order to get a really good analysis of the contrast and contrast to noise and uniformity information. For your CBCT, of course, uniformity and noise, Hounsfield units, geometric slice thickness, low contrast, detectability, of course, everything that you would expect in a CBCT module, generally using a cat fan phantom, which is what the vast majority of people have. One of the things that we really like to highlight with our MLC log file is that we're measuring actual loss of leaf speed. We are not calculating some dose over various fields and extrapolating information. We are actually measuring that loss of leaf speed as prescribed in TG 142. We have segmental IMRT, moving window IMRT, leaf position repeatability tests. So a lot of information in our MLC tests. We also do image-based tests for what we call multi-port, which is the picket fence test, your leaf position, and leaf transmission. Radiation light field coincidence, again, typical types of things that you're looking for. And of course, the results are very quickly analyzed and basically instantaneously reported to you. Star shot analysis, as per usual and as expected for TG 142 software. And then, like I mentioned, the STEREOTACTIC module, again, MLC based or cone based. We have a variety of tools. We have a Cube Phantom, but we also have a pointer with a couple of different stands. You can get the traditional one, which is just a fixed position. You can also get one with our 3D micrometer stand if you prefer to lock it to the lock bar and really be able to hone in super finely into your Winston-Letts test and positioning for that. And whoops, sorry about that. And then this is, like I said, the IGRT module, which is a recording of your daily offsets so that you can trend that over time. What's coming in 5.7, and I'm actually going to be using a 5.7 beta version. It is now in beta, which means testing is getting finalized. And then, of course, you've got regulatory paperwork to get through. But we're looking at here the auto upload to QA Pilot, some enhanced CBCT marker detection to make that module easier to use, and some enhanced Electa Versa file functionality for the leaf speed module. So with that, we can now go over maybe kind of sort of, if I can get out of here. My system does not want me to get out of here. Why not? There we go. We can go into the software itself. I'm going to bring this up first. So it's kind of weird. I'm starting with a future feature, but this is kind of easy. And we can get it out of the way, and then we can focus on PIPSpro itself. So this is the dashboard view that was mentioned. As you'll notice here this morning, I was, of course, prepping for this webinar and ran and saved some tests. And some of them haven't been done since May. So if I were to say, okay, I've done the test I'm going to do this month, and I want to get that information into QA Pilot, which is our QA management system, you have to make sure that you've got the right machine indicated here, going from this dashboard of the latest results. So notice we have some that were taken in May, some taken in June. If we go to the QA Pilot portal, There we go. These are the few tests that I ran today. So this is the information that's ready to actually upload into QA Pilot. It tells you which schedule it's going to be associated with. I have a couple of different schedules. I'm going to put it in this one. It's giving you the date and time stamp for it. And then I can, we can say, sure, we'll start. Well, I might not be in finalized, so I may need to go back to a different finalized. And then I didn't finalize my QA for today, so it's not going to let me do it. But here, with that single click button, QA Pilot Upload, it's already in there. And if I were to go over to QA Pilot, you can see here, for example, it's already uploaded that information from PIPSpro. We can go right in and look at that information that's been brought in. So that gives you a quick overview of how that works. This dashboard, of course, can be hidden. You can show it display it on start or not. So back over to PIPSpro. So let's go through the different applications. Up here you have the basic menu file, which has things like our system manager in it, which is again that place where you would update users, baselines, all of those good things. What machine we're actually using. This will default to whatever last machine was used last to do QA, but you can select a different machine. And then we have our list of applications here. And I'm already in my Imager QA. So, and I've already pulled in my CBCT module just so you can see what that's like. Up here we have a menu for you to be able to look at various modules. I think my little thing here is in the way. So here you get your summary page. Sorry, mine looks like it's all red, but that's because this morning I didn't do baselines as they should because this was a last minute changeover. But if you look at the summary, you can also click into something from in here, or you can do it from this menu and look at, let's pick at something different. Uniformity and noise, for example. So that's really easy. Notice that the action items are always over here on the left. The results, the image and results are always displayed on the right side of the screen. So if I want to go into Imager QA, well, we'll do a reset. I'm not going to save results today. This is also where you have your baseline editor, application Imager QA. The other thing I wanted to show you here, when you first get the software, you're going to use a manual select in order to say, this is the phantom I'm using, this is the test I'm doing, so this is the energy and so on and so forth. But once you've done a test even once, it moves it over into our quick select menu so that you don't have to do that input over and over again. Actually, I wanted to go into that one. So if we're going to look, for example, at our QC3, we're just going to load that image. We actually have two images we're loading here, the image and the flood field image, as I showed you. We have an option to review the image, and I did this on purpose because I wanted to be able to show you this functionality. Notice here our regions of interest, these blue or turquoise circles aren't really properly aligned, so we have edit tools for you to be able to mark it up and do various things. So one of the things that you can do is increase or decrease the size of the regions of interest. You can rotate them if they need to be rotated. What we actually want to do is move them, and that's what we're doing here. And we probably then also, not that one, we want to make it smaller, get a better fit to our regions of interest. So that is when it's done, and when you're done with that, you say we're ready to go ahead and calculate, and it's going to very quickly do that for you and provide you with the results. So just wanted to take a moment to be able to show you that kind of functionality. Okay, and then you get your results. And that's pretty much how that works for every application that we have. Radiation light field, again, we're going to be loading, loading that image, for example, and it goes straight to the results. See how quickly that is actually done. it's really quite wonderful. Our star shot analysis, I've already loaded one image. Every time it's going to take you straight to the default, to the results, excuse me. But you can always go back and click on the image over here. And this is where you can reset something, you can save it, or you can print your report as well. And again, your information about what type of test we're running and what the tolerances are set at are indicated here on the left. The STEREOTACTIC module, again, I loaded these for efficiency purposes and chose an MLC. When we load those and it does the automatic calculation, not only do you get your overall optimal shift in 3 dimensions, but you get your DU and DV deviations for each of the 8 images. Now, a lot of people ask, do I always have to do 8 images? No, the answer to that is no, you do not. If you do fewer than 8, you're not going to get that optimal offset because you're not doing an optimal calculation, but you do get your DU and DV shifts for whichever, the number of images that you choose to upload. The other question that we've often gotten is, do you only use the IEC coordinates? No, we don't. You can select those, and you do that in your Linux setup, whether you're using IEC or variant coordinate system. And then let's go over to the image-based MLC. Okay. So in this case, we're going to load an image. Let's do a leaf position test. And we're looking for whether it be, excuse me, the radiation light field, or the leaf position test, or the picket fence test. We're looking at or the STEREOTACTIC module, we're looking for that 50% leaf edge, and then we're giving you the results. Again, move my little thing about, okay. And then you can scroll through your results here. They're color coded to let you know very quickly what's going on. On your graphical display, you can zoom in on things if you needed to, just be able to show you those types of things. So let's do a reset. Let's load a different image to be able to show you a multi-port. We'll show you one with an error, just so you can see what that looks like. Again, we go straight to the table of results. It lets you know what's going on. You have your positions that are expected and then your actual measured positions here. In this case, we actually used, if we do some window and leveling, you'll see that we used our MLC Phantom. That is not required to do this test. You can use your graticule tray, and that works just fine as well. And then for the log file based, save the best eye candy for last. Excuse me. I really wasn't prepared to give a demo today. So in here we have a variety of tests already, patterns selected, and of course we help you when you get the PIPSpro software to create these plans or to get copies of these plans. We have complex as well as simple leaf speed test, repeatability in here. So let's run a couple of these. We'll do a complex one here. We've got this nice little viewer that lets you know what the pattern is, what the MLCs are actually doing. You can run through that whole thing if you want. It will color code if things, as it's running through, run into an alert or an error. And at any point, you can stop that and get your results. Over here in the table, it's going to report the 10 worst performing leaves. In this case, it's a true beam machine. Things are working really well. Everything is well within tolerances. Your graphical display is then again color coded, as are the results. We'll do a reset and we'll load another one. Well, all right, I guess we're going to want to save this. Let's load a new image. Let's take a repeatability test. Sure, why not? And again, it shows you what that pattern is. It's a more complex pattern that it's working its way through to show you what's going on. And at any point, you can stop that and do a calculation. Again, as expected with a new machine, because these were done on a new TrueBeam, everything is well within tolerances as expected. Let me think. It pretty much is the quick run view of the software. I'm going to take a peek over here and see if any questions have come through. Give you guys a minute to think about that and see if there's anything you do want to ask. And but otherwise, I think we've gone through everything. And like I said, any report, any print that you're doing, the data is saved to a database. You can print PDF reports for a single session, for a historical view. Again, I uploaded this basically this morning, so I don't have any history view to show you. But what is with all of our reports, what you see on screen is what you're going to get in the report, with, of course, proper date and time stamps for those things. So I think that completes that. I just wanted to pop back over here to just say thank you for attending this webinar. And again, I'll do one last check for questions if you have any. And I just wanted to let you know that our next week's webinar will be on W2, given by my colleague Shannon Holmes. I do want to remind you that if you need more information about any of our products, our website is a great place for more details. If you want a further in-depth view of the software and its full functionality, reporting, and all of that, I highly, highly recommend that you reach out to your regional account manager in order to get that set up. And it looks like I might have a couple questions here, so, oh dear me, I have a bunch of them. And here's hoping I can answer them all. Please bear with me if I can't. Image-based Winston LUT. I'm not sure I actually understand what you mean. So there are EPID images with the Winston LUTs. You just have your panel out, run through your Winston LUTs, again, however many images you're going to do, and we analyze those images. We do not support film on that one. We support film for the star shot analysis, because as we all know, only collimator can be done with the EPID. Does this use DICOM sniffers to automatically start analysis prior to logging in? Might have to record that one for Hugh to answer. I don't believe so, but I'm not 100% sure. How to import MLC leaf speed images from a TrueBeam. So we use TrueBeam trajectory files. It's log based. It's a log file. Well, trajectory file based analysis. The import on that, I am going to have to defer to my colleague Hugh. So sorry, we'll get back to you via email on that one. The play of the portal. So are you asking how do we, the play of the portal imager, I'm assuming you're saying it doesn't necessarily deploy to the exact position every time. Really, that isn't a problem for us, because again, we're not looking for single points. We're looking for the radiation fall off, so that 50% edge. So that shouldn't matter where that falls on the panel. And when we're doing our imager QA, whether it be for the MV or KV imager, again, we're looking at a variety of spots across that open field image in order to get really good contrast to noise and noise information for you to report on the quality of your imager. So the process to rename files, none of this should really take that long. When you're in the file, when you're capturing the images and you're going to, save those into a particular file that you go to find your images, you are choosing what they are. How short or long you make those names are completely up to you. It's not difficult to do in any way, though. I already answered about the star shot. We do the collimator one with either film or your panel, and of course your couch and gantry you do with film. That's typical and common because there's no getting around that. So the enterprise solution, does it flag sensors that are behind on their QA schedule? That is not taken care of in PIPSpro. PIPSpro is really the software to run your monthly QA tests. If you want flags on what's going on, that is actually the QA pilot program, which is really a QA management system with a variety of schedules and alert level, alerts sort of schedules if they're overdue or if they're coming up, where you can track your calibrations on your equipment. It's really a management system for your department. That is not the functionality of PIPSpro. PIPSpro is just your TG142. So in Electa, I know that we're using, I can't remember what they're called, but we do have the equivalent of log file based MLC for Electa machines as well. We support that. Sorry, I'm blanking on the name of their files, but we do support that. So is there any limit to the number of licenses? So the software is licensed as a main LINAC and then additional LINACs at a lower cost. Depending on the size of your group or institution, we are always extremely open to working through that with you to figure out the best enterprise solution. What does that look like? How do we make that work easily, especially if you're a quickly growing group? How do we facilitate that for you? That is something that you would work through with our sales team, but they are very, very happy and very open. We've done it for a lot of large centers and made it work very well for them. Okay, whew, that was a lot of questions. I appreciate them all. Those that I couldn't answer today, they are being recorded as well. And I'll make sure that Hugh, when he's back in the office, can get those answers for you. So again, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody for taking time out of your very busy schedules to spend the time with us to learn about our solution and what we can do for you. I hope to see you again, but I'm hoping that next week it's not me. So thank you all very much. I'm going to end it there and wish you all a very, very nice day.